Another question, I want to see if you can maybe underwrite Morby Method deal that I'm working on right now. It's $1 million house, and I think the only way to make the Morby Method work is if I buy it at $1 million or like 1.1. She owes $750 to her mortgage, and then another $50,000 to the HOA. I wanted to do straight Subto, but her attorney straight shut it down. She said she's been working with this attorney for 10 years, and I didn't want to fight that. I didn't want to go back and forth with her about that attorney. So I'm like, okay, well, if I can get your name off the mortgage, will you finance the rest? She said, yeah. I just need to know if these numbers make sense.
Okay, so a couple things about the attorney. So Amadou has an attorney attached to his deal. I put my attorney and his other attorney in a group email, and just putting those two attorneys in the same email got rid of that attorney's issues. He's like, oh, right. Damn, they have an attorney too that's like gonna tell me I'm wrong. So what I would do is I would suggest to her like, hey, would it help if my attorney talked to you or talked to your attorney? Or why not just buy this on an agreement for sale and let her keep full control? The issue an attorney has with a subject to deal is that your name is on the deed, her name is on the mortgage. So why not let her stay on the deed and on the mortgage, do it on an agreement for sale, and have her seller finance that deal until, let's say, 5 years down the road? Are you going to keep this one in your portfolio, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm planning on keeping this one. And it's not like I need the depreciation right now anyways. So
if it was me, I would do an agreement for sale, appease her attorney. So I would write her an email, or maybe even chat with her attorney, ask her. Get in the habit, Daryl, of getting used to talking to their attorney and just saying, I think I have a pretty good solution. Why don't we just buy this on an agreement for sale? She retains control of the deed and her name stays on the mortgage. I take over through an agreement for sale. And at some point in 5 years, I refinance it with my own loan once there's enough equity in the deal, and I can get her all the way out. That's the easiest way to go.
The easiest way. Okay. Yeah.
Here's the first step of Morby Method. Okay. I'm in the middle of a 6-package deal in Florida right now. Okay. On the Morby Method. So what I do on any Morby Method is I get the seller to say yes. Before I like finalize and finish my inspection period, I tell the seller straight up, all right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's get into a purchase agreement for a 30-day or 60-day close, probably a 60-day close. And yes, Morby Method is basically the seller wanting too much money down, or needing, more specifically, they need more money down. It's not so much a want at this point, it's more like they absolutely need it and there's no way I can negotiate out of it. That's the Morby Method. So what I do is I get the seller into a contract. The seller and I are going to enter into a partnership agreement in the Morby Method. You understand that part.
Yeah.
And the seller then, instead of creating a seller carryback for me for that equity, they actually retain a part ownership of my LLC, making sure that my lender is happy and all that kind of stuff, whatever. I tell the seller straight up, I can't move forward on this deal until my lender says they can give me this much money. And once they say they can give me this much money and at this interest rate, then I can come back to you and we can finalize the numbers. So many people are like, I'm going to get the seller into a Morby Method thing. And dude, the Morby Method is so transparent with the seller of like, I'm in a deal right now, Jared Penner, Florida, 6 properties, all Airbnb, operating Airbnb right now. The seller's name is Caesar. I tell the seller, I can do this Morby Method. Caesar says, I love it. Let's move forward. I go, here's the problem, Caesar. I'm going to go to my lender. My lender is going to give me a term sheet, what terms they're willing to give me on this specific property. How much money down? How much interest rate? Well, this, that, and the other. What's my payment? Until I know those numbers from my lender, I cannot come to you and finalize my negotiation with you. So I'm going to open a contract with you. We are then going to, I've got one right now. I got one back from Tanya, the lender actually you referred over to me on the 6-package deal. Now I go to Caesar and I have a conversation with Caesar. I go, here's what my lender's giving me. This is how much and we work out the finalized agreement and we create a separate agreement in our partnership, if that makes sense. It's a more complicated way to do it. So for me, it works. It's amazing. I love it. I'm in the middle of 4 Morby Method transactions right now. It does work. The problem is, until you've gone through it once, it seems very complicated, but at the end of the day, it's very simple.
Got you. This particular seller, she runs a property management company as well. Would you be opposed to allow her to manage the property? Because she also has 43 units that she's looking to sell. She manages that she's looking to sell.
The deal I'm buying, the 18-unit multifamily deal I'm buying right now, I'm keeping the seller on as the property manager at 5%.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean,
the seller, who knows the property better than the seller? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, because she has these condos in West Palm that she's looking to sell as well on behalf of the seller. The seller, she does a property management for him. The guy's actually about to go to jail. It's kind of crazy. But she said she'll sell to us. She has to do the property management, she's saying, that she sells to us. And I'm like, that's fine. Like,
yeah, the guy, Caesar, that I was just telling you about, he said that he wants to do the property management for a year. He says his wife currently does it. And he says that the specific type of neighborhood that those houses are in require a very specific type of clientele. And he wants his wife to teach whoever is the buyer how to attract that type of clientele specifically.
That definitely gave me some homework. I appreciate that, bro. Land contract way simpler than going through the Morby method for sure.